Truth be told, this is my first time reviewing a Logic album or really sitting with one for multiple listens. So I really had no expectations going into this project as a result, but I heard some good things about the production and the features look strong, so I decided to give it a chance. Now, I had obviously known that Logic could rap, but to be honest, I did have some reservations to listen to him a lot in the past due to his reputation for being a little bit corny. But getting right into this album, Vinyl Days, it is his last release on Def Jam and a project that brings him out of retirement, I guess. It contains 30 songs, which is a lot, but fortunately, they aren't all songs. Actually, 10 of them are tracks with skits or voicemails from friends and other artists and people in his inner circle. Some skits are pretty funny, like the ones with The Needle Drop, Michael Rappaport, and Nems. But I'm only going to talk about the songs in my track-by-track breakdown, in which there are 20 of them. Oh, and Funkmaster Flex is the host of this project, so he is screaming a lot on this album, and that can be a bit extra. But it does give the project that raw and uncut mixtape feel. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track-by-track breakdown. The first actual song is Tetris, which was released as a single earlier in the year. This has a punchy, soulful, boom bap beat that Logic attacks in an aggressive way, giving us some cool braggadocio, altogether dope opening song. The next track is In My Lifetime with Action Bronson. It is built around a playful, sample-based beat that is head nodding. Logic raps, "It's like my life was written through a murder scene. Even in my early teens, I saw a guy in a corner getting high when a stray bullet from a drive-by blew out his brains through his right eye." And Action Bronson comes through with some clever and witty bars as well. As a whole, it was a fun record. The following track, Decades, goes into more of a soulful territory. There is a beat shift and some harmonizing from Logic on the hook. He is doing some introspection and thanking God for helping him to push past the pain. Then there is Black White Boy, which is a highlight for its wavy boom bap production and Logic's boastful bars. He is flexing his skills and catching wreck, while taking shots at his critics and his haters. I did think the following lines came across as genuine. "I do this for Kenny, do this for Cole, do this shit for the Jizza and the whole clan for show. I do this for Most, do this for Thought, do this for Dilla on the Farilla, but don't let me start showing love because I won't be able to stop." Right after is Quasi, which is a dedication record of Madlib set to a quirky boom bap beat where Logic is essentially begging Madlib to come back outside and to rap again. I do like the sentiment, and I thought the lyrics were pretty solid. The subsequent track, Bleed, is easily my least favorite record. It's not bad, but I felt the Beastie Boys inspired flow and production didn't really fit with the vibes of the other songs. It was high energy though, I'll give it that. Up next is La Donda, which has a colorful boom bap beat. What stood out the most to me about this song were the words he had for Anthony Fantano, aka The Needle Drop. Logic is friends with him now, but admits on this track to having fantasies about murdering him, which is pretty bizarre, to think that one could get in their feelings so much over a review. I've seen it before personally, but never that bad. The track Clouds featuring Langston Bristol and Currency is a standout. The smooth atmospheric production here has a Jet Life kind of aesthetic, and obviously I'm referring to Currency's Jet Life. I dug Logic's double time flow, and Currency came through with a solid verse as expected. Afterwards is therapy music with Russ, and I feel there are some similarities between these two, and the beat even reminds me of some of the production off Russ's most recent album. The two trade bars over a warm, mellow, and jazzy beat. Russ did his thing, but I feel Logic really snapped. But this is a dope record with straight bars and no hook. Rogue One is another standout track that has this frenetic early 90s instrumental that put me in the frame of mind of some early DJ Muggs production. Logic brings an insane amount of energy to his single verse, speaking on how he is in a good space after coming out of retirement. The following song, Breath Control, featuring Wiz Khalifa, is bound to take one back to the Kush and Orange Juice days. Wiz and Logic sound pretty good over this smooth 2010 Blogger era kind of production. Then there is the track Nardwuar, which serves as an interlude slash song where Logic raps assuming his alter ego Doc D. The production is very dusty, lo-fi, and space-like. The track Kickstyle has a raw, cypher-like quality to it. This features Logic and his boys I Am Mars, Big Limbo, and Shy Gray. Now, I didn't particularly love the bars here as much as some of the other records, but the infectious energy was undeniable. The subsequent song 10 Years featuring Royce da 5'9" is another standout. I dug the mid-90s nocturnal bells and punchy drums. Royce steals the show as expected, but Logic's verse was solid, although I thought his following line was a little questionable. Logic bringing boom bap back. This shit is the resurgency. Can't fuck with mumble schmumble shit. It burdens me. So the anti-mumble rap line sounds a bit dated, almost like a talking point you would have heard from folks like 3 years ago. Yeah, Logic, there is some mumble rap out there for sure, but there's been plenty of dope hip hop that has been boom bap centered over the years. And respectfully, sir, I don't think you can credit yourself for bringing boom bap back. That would be more Griselda. I like the murky, grimy basement quality to the production on the track Porter 1 with RZA. This feels like it could have been a leftover from the Tikal session. Well, not that good, but almost as good. Logic does pay homage to the Wu and RZA throughout, which he has been known to do in the past, and RZA's performance was extra gutter. He sounded rejuvenated, and he resurrected his old RZA flow, which was dope. And a good sign if there is another Wu-Tang project coming up soon. The following song introducing Nezzy doesn't disappoint either. Here Logic introduces Nezzy Omudo, a Nigerian artist who definitely does her thing over this flavorful boom bap beat. The track Orville with Blue and Exile is also a highlight. The angelic soul chops give off somewhat of a Ninth Wonder feel. It's definitely one that I would recommend for sure. Next is Carnival featuring AZ, the Visualizer. The two drop strong verses over a horn-laced mid-90s style beat. It's always great to get an AZ feature. But Logic held his own with bars like, "Ayo, life's a bitch, we knew that. Guns drawn, where the loot at. Chilling in the crib, bumping Lupe and Lupac." Immediately after is Vinyl Days, which features scratching from the legendary DJ Premier. Logic raps, "All I need is one mic, one pen, one page to ignite. Subject matter heavy, but the flow is MC light." So it's one Logic verse, no hook, and scratching from Primo over a glorious East Coast style beat. What's not to like? The second to last track is I Guess I Love It, featuring The Game, which is set to an ethereal instrumental that shifts to a jazzier one as Logic raps. The Game had a clever enough line with, "I'll snatch the mic off LL's arm and strangle cannabis with it, sit with the body for 7 days and just smoke cannabis with it." As a whole, this one was solid, but I didn't necessarily care for Logic's harmonizing at the end. Then his project wraps up with Sayonara, which is Logic's open letter to Def Jam, where he's thanking them, but also being critical about what went wrong. There's a lot of talking at the end, but as a whole, this was a solid way to bring closure to his experiences at the label. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4 mics. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Now, initially, I was thinking of a strong 3.5, but because there were hardly any skips out of the 20 songs, I decided to round up to 4, and I was pleasantly surprised considering this was my first in-depth listen to a Logic album. Yeah, he's still a little corny, a bit repetitive, and somewhat of a complainer, but his flows were crisp, and he had some dope lines here and there that grabbed my attention. I also want to highlight how I respect the respect that he shows towards his hip hop idols and legends on this project. I know he has always worn his artistic influences on his sleeves, but I can tell it all comes from a genuine place. And I think that this passion helped to make this a cohesive and enjoyable project. If you like raw and hard hitting boom bap production, then you will likely be pleased with these instrumentals, as I honestly didn't have a problem with any of them. Now, the skits did become a bit repetitive, I will say, but I didn't despise them. And they did put one in the frame of mind of albums from the 90s with voice messages. And off the top, I'm just going to say KRS One's self-titled album from 95 and Gang Starr's Hard to Earn. Yeah, I got to give Logic his props with this one, as it's easily the best release out of the past 3 weeks. And I also want to stress how challenging it can be for artists to drop a consistent project when they are this long in length. So good job, Logic. My favorite tracks include Tetris, In My Lifetime, Black White Boy, Clouds, Therapy Music, Rogue One, Breath Control, 10 Years, Porta One, Orville, Carnival, and Vinyl Days. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Logic, Vinyl Days 1.